And welcome back to Red, White, and Buffalo, the best Buffalo podcast out there.
Yeah.
I'm Adam, and this is my co-host Zilla. Another wonderful game. Loved it. Moved to 4-1. Couldn't have asked for anything better.
That big game. Big banger.
Yep, gonna toss it over to Zilla to introduce what we're gonna talk about today.
All right. The usual here. I'll kick off the topics. We kind of compiled them this week. So we got the offense and the offensive game in general. The Josh talk. You can't not talk about Josh Allen this week and his running for the MVP. Defense.
Huge case.
Defense as usual also. I feel like we talk about some defense every week because that's a good thing to talk about.
It's almost like we have to because it's just they're that good.
Yeah, winning the games in some weeks. And then the game of the year preview.
I think we could all agree that KC is the game of the year. It's just it's a big redemption game.
There's people I've talked to that don't even care about Buffalo, and they're just like, that is going to be like the most watched game in the nation, like for sure next week. Yeah.
For sure. And they didn't even put it in prime time, which I'm like, kind of is nice though in a way, don't you think?
Yeah.
Like I said, I was like, that is kind of nice.
Is this is the 4 o'clock, the afternoon game?
Yeah. But we'll get there.
Yeah.
But all right, let's start it off. Offensive game. Wow. What a freaking game.
The first
right away. Right off the bat.
That
Gabe Davis.
Kickoff putting us at the line of right at the goal line, pretty much.
Yep.
At our own. And then at the
third down.
Yep.
Third down.
Just gone.
Look at real rough to start. Are the Steelers going to contest us once again? Another year of them somehow contesting us, beating us last year. But not today.
Not today. The big old Gabe Davis bomb.
Yes.
I have to say though that like going into this game, like I wasn't worried about Pittsburgh at all, but the way that they kind of started that off, I was like, well, maybe I should give them a little because they've been lackluster this season, right? Don't you think?
Oh, yeah. This year, they're on a whole nother level of bad. They're like a lower 5 bad kind of
But I always feel like they're that team that has the potential, other than quarterback issues possibly, the potential to like just ramp it up all of a sudden, right? So
I would say that was because of Ben most years. So we'll see. This is the first year in a long time without Ben. So.
But I mean, Tomlin as a coach in general, I feel like he's always found a way to make it happen. I know Ben, but Ben was old and kind of busted at the end, and they still found ways.
He was a game manager, though. You know, he'd find ways to win in close games somehow. Even last year, I mean, it was just weird, but. I think this year I was definitely worried too going into this game. I was like kind of like, okay, we don't know who they are. Yeah, I know they're like I had a feeling that we'd beat them pretty good, but it was more like you didn't know kind of thing, you know. So.
And everyone's still waiting for Najee Harris to kind of show up this year, and I thought like sometimes we got a better defense against the run this year, but still it was something to consider. So yeah, right. Either way though, so I guess we won't spend too much time on our worries about Pittsburgh being good. Instead, we'll talk about reality.
Right,
they got dominated,
complete domination, and then. Gabe Davis is just we've talked about him multiple times, but he is just so ridiculous. Not only that 98-yarder was nice, but that 62-yarder was something else. Yeah. He not only did he catch it with one hand at first, when he brought it in, Fitzpatrick came up and basically intercepted it. And he ripped it out and was still able to like completely come to a stop and make sure he looked down and was like, "Yup, got it."
They carried it in together like a baby, and then he ripped that away.
It was great.
It was wild. No, but just showing you like the physicality at the end to make sure he ended up with that. That was great because that could have been an interception. It could have been an incomplete pass had he got it ripped out. So I think sticking with it, that was great. That was great.
Yeah, he's definitely a game changer. His ability to just like all of a sudden just break it free for 60, 70, 80, 90-yard touchdown.
Yeah,
we haven't had that in a while. Like even Diggs, he doesn't really get a ton of like long touchdowns. Generally, they're like out routes. He gets like kind of things, and then he's like goal line guy because he's good at like the fade routes and stuff. So
someone at the Wings bar said that Diggs is our like all around guy, and that Gabe's the long guy, and the whole like long pass guy. And I think you called it out in the beginning of the year. You also are someone that like at our podcast 0 at like
Yeah.
pre week one, you're like Gabe's gonna be present. So we both agreed, and we both also said that might open up Diggs having a bigger year again too. Or
Yeah.
yeah.
And it has. It
Yeah.
legitimately has. Like Diggs is having another career season.
Mm-hmm.
Leads. I'm pretty sure he's like around like top 3 in every category, pretty much. So
I mean, okay, so we also had Shakira on here, right? So I think this is a good
yeah.
point to just say, like, man, these other young receivers are also opening up because, like, they're coming
Yep.
in Hodgins, right? I've seen
Yep.
multiple passes.
Touchdown.
Yep. Shakir, touchdown. Just these guys,
We've had
young guys showing up. Yeah.
rookies. I saw an article about it. How they were saying they asked after get people after the game, and I think it was Josh, and they said like how the rookies, they're just really proud of the rookies for stepping up and the young guys in general. And in general, if you just look at our team, like we're beat up and we have so many injuries, and we just keep finding ways to win games and keep finding ways to step up. Like the Elam, our first round pick this year,
Mm-hmm.
he was coming into the this year. He was looking rough. He got beat out by the other guy, Betford,
Mm-hmm.
and who was our 6th round pick. And at first, he didn't even know if he'd be playing. And then, of course, Tre'Davious is out, and then what's his name? Johnson gets hurt. So
Yeah.
Elam has been playing a lot now, and then first career interception this week, like that stuff is it's just big. It's just like, and going back to like it's just Shakir. We lose Crowder. We lose
McKenzie.
McKenzie too. Like Crowder's going to be a long term. Like that might be season.
Yeah.
McKenzie could be weeks. With the protocol and everything, and how bad it actually was. So Shakir stepping up is huge. We drafted him and needed him to. We were hoping that he'd make an impact, and he is. So
Yeah. Going back to
that's
that,
big, and
the depth on this team,
yeah,
but even the offense too. Yeah, that's great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Depth on offense and defense, it's big. I mean, even our offensive line, we've had to go back in depth wise because we've been injured on that too. So
Yeah.
and like obviously Knox is injured, and Morris, huge. He's been big for us too as a backup tight end. Not necessarily like getting receptions and stuff, but he has been getting a couple catches, but he's been a great blocker, and he's making his presence known.
I didn't look at the stats on this, but just gut feeling, this guy has been showing up on third down. Like I've seen it many times where we're like 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10, and he gets the pass, and then he gets us like first down again, and just he looks reliable. He looks like a reliable guy.
What did he get last week? I want to look. Let's see what he got. Let's see.
I think the only thing we said about him, the fumble at the goal line, unfortunate. I guess happens to the best of them. That was that could have been a touchdown right there.
He had 3 for 39 again last week. That's good.
Yeah. He's definitely like he seems to be like Josh's get out of jail free card. Like when everyone's looking at Diggs or Gabe, or when they're we can't get the run game going, they just go tight end to get that.
Well, we need people to step up, and look, that's 10 receptions from Shakir, Hodgins, and Morris. 3 for 75 from Shakir, 4 for 41 from Hodgins, and 3 for 39 for Morris. All the guys that are injured, there's a whole new set of guys come up and step in, and now, it's like we don't even need anyone else to help. And
the best part is like we had a good feeling in preseason, but we had no idea how these guys were gonna do. In the real game, in the real season, and they're stepping up. It's great. It's great.
Yeah. I mean, what happened to Kumaro, right?
Yeah, I don't think he's injured. Yeah.
So weird sometimes how the NFL works. You'll see a guy one week and he'll do a ton, and then the next week, or you won't even see him again all season sometimes. You're like, what the heck?
Yeah, he actually had a pretty good week I think it was 2 weeks ago, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, 2-3 weeks ago, he had a couple good catches, and we were like, oh, nice. He might start making a run at stuff, and then now Hodgins is getting a run, and Shakir's getting most of it now, and I was like, okay, I'm fine with that, but I was like, weird how all of a sudden it's just out.
Keep him all
warm. I was
warm.
wondering if he is hurt or something.
Yeah,
I don't remember if he.
It almost makes you wonder if they just run certain drills in practice, and like certain receivers are that guy, so like when they need that, they pull that person in. I don't know. It seems like real specific, like when they're taking those guys in.
Yeah, right. I don't know.
And when they're in, they're like going to them,
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's talk about the run game again.
Still.
Still,
Yeah.
Joshi is still leading rusher.
Yeah.
Not good.
Not good.
I mean, this time at least
Inconsistent.
Singletary at least tied him, so that's at least a little better. But
Yeah.
honestly, they're not giving attempts. Singletary had 6 attempts. Moss had 1. James Cook had 4. So 11 attempts total. That's not very good, you know.
But
But
I
I mean,
feel
they
like,
were blowing them out, so you can't really. This
don't you
game's
feel like
hard
they're
to
just giving
judge.
them the early down attempts, like because they don't trust in the run game, really?
I
Honestly, I
think,
think,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, they're
I,
giving them like the first, second down, and they can't do it. So I think they're just going past. Like, there's a couple of downs where we really needed them to do it in third, and you can't rely on it. I like that Cook got that touchdown. I'm really happy about that because I felt real bad. Just I don't know why. I just felt bad for the dude the first handoff and then NFL fumble. Luckily
yep.
they didn't hold that against him, but it's good to see him get it. It's always fun. I mean, all those guys that got him probably their first touchdown. So
Right,
great.
right. I was happy to see Cook get a touchdown finally. He needed it. I feel like that like run was just like that's the like play we need from a running back, and I don't know, I just feel like he's slowly gonna start taking over here. You'll see over the next few weeks. I have a feeling that that's what they should start doing, especially when we used a pretty high draft pick on him to just not
Yeah.
get him more and more involved.
I mean, I think it's a move. I think the move is happening, like you said, because you actually Moss was almost non-existent this game.
1 for 7.
Yep. So they might be starting to phase him out, or maybe pitting them against each other. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that sometimes, but maybe you need it.
The
For the
biggest
start.
thing about this offense that worries me is the run game, because if we get like in a situation where we have to run, I just am very, very, very nervous that we will not be able to at all,
Yeah.
unless Moss gets the chance. But
I
oh
mean,
yeah, Kumaro is out. I just realized. I just saw an injury report. I wonder what's wrong with
yeah,
him.
what's going on with him? Um, I'm actually concerned about the run game because I mean, snowy season is coming, right? And
Ankle,
what do
high
we?
ankle sprain.
We're gonna have high ankle sprain.
Yeah, he's been out since Dolphins. Damn.
So I mean, we're gonna have to rely on that run game because we're gonna get those snowy games. We're not gonna be able to pass the ball that well, and
Right. Playing in
I
Buffalo.
am concerned about that. I also didn't see Gilliam this game for the fullback.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think he was out too.
was he injured? Because they had been incorporating him into the offense a lot more recently, and
No, it's not out. He's not injured yet.
yeah, just
Sometimes I think they get him involved. Sometimes they don't. Like,
yeah.
it's weird. It's really weird.
Um,
Uh, our offense is just too one dimensional at times, and we definitely need to. I hope by the end of the season we definitely have a little bit more of a run game, or at least something that is better than just always pass, pass, pass. Especially if we get caught in a situation where we need to like come back or something, and
yeah.
it would be nice to all of a sudden occasionally break a big rush.
I mean, it's nice to also have like the threat of like on a 2-5 to be able to get that and not have to go throw. Because
Right.
that's how we got last year. We talked about this before, but it got to be where like everybody knew we were going to throw on third down. Like it's going to be a pass, so like they automatically set the defense up for that, and maybe sometimes
Exactly.
Josh would run it instead, and get it. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But talking about Josh, what a freaking game. Wow. What? I mean, that's why we both had to support him this week
we
and
did.
wear our Joshies,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
just
What a week.
absolute stud. Like, I mean, come on. If anybody that's watching the NFL right now, they're just like, he's just the best player they can see right now.
They're
Like,
either like,
and
wow, he's fun to watch, or they're angry because they don't have him on their team.
exactly. Exactly. Which, I mean, I'd be pretty upset too. If everybody wants somebody like Josh Allen, and we
Yeah,
have him. So it's so much fun.
yeah, it's great. Do you want to talk about the big numbers? Throw them out
Yeah.
there. Yeah,
So he threw for 424, which is a career high. His passer or his rating was 134. Insane. 4 touchdowns. Another INT, which it happens, especially when you're on such a high firing offense. You're gonna have him. I
yeah.
mean, it happens. It's whatever. He's still dominating.
A lot of these have
This,
been tipped ITs too. This one wasn't this game the INT, but I think
yeah.
the other game or two ago, a few of his this year were off of tips, so it wasn't even like a
So
natural
he,
interception. Yeah,
yeah. So he basically, it's whatever. He still only has 4 interceptions. It's
yeah,
not that bad on out of what 5 games. So
Not
Still
bad.
not bad, but what's crazy is what was it? It's that was in only 3 quarters too, which that's a feat. I mean, at halftime he had 395 yards. They put him in for one more drive,
Yeah,
and
first
then that
QB
was it.
to break 300 in the first half this year. Yep.
He pretty much had 4 touchdowns and 400 yards and a half.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't see that from many players. Maybe Pat, and outside of that, I don't think another quarterback really comes close to that. Occasionally they will, but Josh has like done this more than like not this good, but like came close to this before.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy. So it's the fourth most TDs for a QB in his first 5 years. Already at 141 touchdowns. Insane. He's already leading the league this year at 1651 in yards, 14 touchdowns, leads the league, third in QBR. Definitely lining up to be an MVP type
MVP.
season. Not surprising
MVP.
at all.
Yeah. It's
Definitely
also
fun to watch though.
I think in his favor, Rodgers is struggling a little this year, so that's good because he's always in contention usually. And I mean, we're still gonna have Pat Mahomes competing, but it looks like some clear front runners. I would even say Stafford is not putting up numbers like usual.
No, interception's horrible this year for him.
So, yeah, that looks good. MVP talk though, yeah. Hopefully it keeps going.
It's been actually so much fun to watch Allen just develop over the years, dude.
Yeah.
Like 3 years ago watching him compared to now, and it's just like now he's just so unstoppable. And it's just so much fun to watch compared to like 3 years ago where it was so back and forth, inconsistent and stuff. Now it's just so much fun, and we've got at least like the next like 6 years of this at least. So
yeah,
it'll be a lot of fun, and that's why I'm just hoping no injuries to anybody. We still keep going strong, and definitely first 5 games. MVP, best team, for sure. We're looking great. I love it. I love it.
Looking great coming into one of our toughest games of the season.
Toughest games.
So, yeah.
I do want to talk about defense quick too, though, because defense, wow. What a game as well.
Yeah.
Another holding team to under 21 points for every game this season. Majority of the time it's been let's see here.
Under 20, except that one you were saying. I think it was Miami that went over.
Yeah, so it's 31-10. So 10, 7, 21, 20, and 3.
Yeah.
We've allowed the lowest amount of points tied with the Niners for least amount of points given up. We lead the league in INTs, and I'm pretty sure we're like 4th in sacks.
Yeah.
Which huge. We can't leave out Von Miller either.
Yeah.
How, dude?
Big week.
You
again.
even said
you're
like we got to talk about Von Miller because of how much impact he has.
Yep. I think that you saw him come back again. I think last week it was he was still doing things, but like just showing up this time. So it's huge. And I think like we keep hearing too over and over how much of a presence he is in the locker room. And just with the team morale and everything else, So he just seems like a real stand-up guy. I'm really excited we have him. I know in the beginning we were worried about. I think what ended up being what we kind of wondered if it was the reporters kind of trapping him into the old, hey, don't you miss this and that,
Yeah.
Kind of sticking in the old ways. So I think it's good to see that he's just showing up every week. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you're starting to hear more and more talk about like how much of an impact, like we were saying, he's going to bring so much more of an impact on defense than just his performance,
Yeah.
And it will be like for the coming years even. And they were saying there's more and more talk about like how much he in the locker room he just has just changed so much, like the culture even more for the better, and just like how much he just loves, like everyone loves him in the locker room, and it's just great to hear like how he's just essentially assimilated right into the team, and just nothing has been an issue. Yeah, like just like Diggs, it's pretty weird how like when you have a good culture and everything like that, like even guys that have been like slightly like, oh, like they may be trouble or they've been talked about before on other teams, like, and then they come to this team and they're not an issue at all. There's nothing talked about them. Like Diggs has not had any issues really at all, where there's been like, oh, he's done this to a teammate or anything, or nothing. It's because we have such a great culture now.
I think both of them fit in so good that it's like you feel like they've been playing with the Bills for years now. You know, like
Yeah.
and I mean Diggs kind of has been, but I mean even in the beginning with him, just the way they acclimate with the team so well and all that, I think it's great. So um, I think I want to just throw out there too for AJ Espinoza
Yep.
showing up. Yeah, I think he
Killed it.
had. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, he killed it. He
Yeah,
killed it.
yeah, he killed it. Yeah, and I think he's someone too that we kind of didn't mention. Just that he's kind of been a big factor too. I think since he joined the team and this game specifically. I know he got ejected at the end, but
I think he got somehow ran into a ref or something, and
yeah,
as we talk, refs have way too much of an impact on games. So
yeah.
what can you do?
Um, yeah, things got heated at the end. I mean, it just happens anyways when it's like a blowout. So,
Right.
I also want to say that I think Kenny Pickett too. I was kind of hoping we toss him around some more, but that's pretty good to make the Steelers because I think everybody like after last week they're like, oh, this guy's gonna step in and just be great. You know, it's like no, I think it's the typical he needs more time and they're sticking him in there too early.
Mm.
So.
He got very emotional. You could tell.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
could tell.
yeah. At the end, especially, and a few times. So I think he was just getting frustrated, you know. But I mean, that's kind of like, hey,
Yep.
you're playing with the big boys now. So, and I think
Playing
they,
against when you play against the best, it's hard.
yeah, they even said that the commentator said that they're like he's playing against like number one, number two defense in the NFL. So
Yeah. Yep.
that's a tall order. Yeah,
It,
and
it
relentless too.
looks It looks good, yeah, because our defense, like we bend a lot, but we rarely break. We hold a lot of teams to field goals, and
Yep.
like even like when we first come out, sometimes we'll allow like a little bit of a drive or something, but we always recover, and then there a lot of the times the rest of the game we come up big in a lot of big situations, and it's just nice to see. And these have just been such dominating wins. We've had 3 wins that we've scored 30 plus and won by like 20 plus.
Yeah.
So that's pretty wild. And then the other 2 were single digit loss, single digit win. So I
Yep.
mean,
Uh,
we'll
last thing I'll
see.
say about defense is Jordan Phillips back, and I think that's a presence too. You know, we said about how he's a difference maker. Him just being there, I think, sways things a little different. He's a
Definitely
maniac.
got to give credit to
Yeah.
our safeties too.
Yeah.
Jeez, like the backup safety stuff coming in again with Poyer out, and
Yeah.
obviously with Hyde out for the season. Everyone's stepping up. Even the defense with all the injuries,
Mhm.
still stepping up, still playing like our normal defense. Like we're not even missing a beat. It's just great. It's great to see.
Yep.
It just goes to show you how great that like our defense is, that we can kind of just like plug in new people in a sense,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden we're still playing at the same level, because it's not like that person was not it's not that that person was like not didn't have a crazy impact. It's just like that. I think everyone is so good on the team that it like every spot it has needs to make less of an impact.
Yeah, and Pittsburgh had some playmakers, you know, so like there's a couple blown plays here and there, but I think like if you look at the game as a whole, like the team always finds a way to step up, you know what I mean, and fill in the gaps. So yeah,
Yeah, I think they ended up giving up like 300 yards to Pickett, but I think it was because like literally the fourth quarter, it was a blowout at halftime.
yeah,
Pretty much the third and fourth quarter were backups and stuff in, and at
yeah,
that point, it's like, does it really matter what the stats are at that point? You know what I mean?
yeah,
So, and it's still crazy that we still held them to
yeah. We
only
still,
three.
we
It's
still.
like, what the heck? But yeah, that's leading into the game of the
The
year,
game of the
baby.
year.
I don't care what anybody says. It's definitely, especially how the Chiefs have looked. Uh, at the Chiefs, 425 next Sunday. Be there. Everybody better be watching, because if you're not, you're definitely going to be missing the game of the year,
I'm
because it's going to be
drooling,
fun as heck.
drooling. I'm like
Oh
real
yeah.
excited. I don't know. I'm just really excited about this matchup, and
My thing is, do you want a blowout or do you want like a really close game? Because I'm like, a close game is fun, but I
I want
kind
to
of want
blow.
to just absolutely mangle them.
Yeah, I want a blowout actually, but I mean, I think realistically it's gonna be a close game. I don't see, I think they're gonna pull out everything they have to, and traditionally they've done well against us. So even if we can best them this year, I don't see it being a blowout as much as I'd like to see it. I mean, I'd love to see Pat Mahomes get tossed around all game, but
I know.
uh,
And they're going to be on short too because they're playing tonight actually.
yeah.
So they're going to be on short term. uh, but right now it's pretty crazy. They're like they're pretty comparable to us. They actually score more points than us, 32 to 30 per. This is obviously with one game less, but
Yeah.
32 to 30. They do give up double the amount of points than us, 24 to 12. Total yards, we have 448 to 393, so that's better for us. Obviously, yards allowed, we allow 281 to 352. So obviously, if you look at the stats, pretty much everything favors us. We
How's
are the
that?
2 point favorite as well.
Yeah, which is
But
interesting. Which is interesting that that went our way. Also, not that Vegas has been really right this year, but what about their rushing versus ours too? Because I feel like I don't see them making tons of big plays, but like CEH and stuff will get some TDs, you know. So
actually, Josh Allen has more rushing yards than Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
really,
208 to 225, but that's actually one game extra. So if he gets a big game tonight.
yeah,
But still, it's pretty funny that Josh isn't that far behind, honestly.
yeah. I mean, it's great, but it's also kind of like it's a running back, so Josh shouldn't. But
And
I mean,
honestly, Pat Mahomes is pretty comparable to Josh
yeah.
when it comes to his stats too, honestly. But we'll see. I mean, it's gonna be a shootout. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be like a 30-30 game because I think it's just gonna be our defense is gonna. They're gonna give up points. Honestly, it's hard not to with this offense.
I just wonder if with the linebackers now and the defensive line being so like tip top, I wonder if
It
we're
is
going
different.
to contain Mahomes a little better because he's not. I don't think people really call him a running quarterback, but he typically will take off, sometimes
Right.
and get around the outside, and he's done that to us last year. And I'm kind of wondering if we can put a stop to that, put more pressure on making him stay in the
Didn't
pocket
we
reportedly.
destroy them last year?
Um, no,
Where is it?
they beat us
I
barely
know they.
in the
Yeah,
playoffs.
38-20. We
Yeah.
beat them week 5.
Oh, week 5, yeah. But that last one, I mean, the playoffs one.
38-20. Josh Allen had 315 yards. See, I think it might be another game like that. Like where it's like high scoring. We're going to give up probably 20, 25 points,
Yeah.
and we're probably going to score 35, like kind of feeling. But it's going to be close until it's going to be like closer for like the first half kind of thing. And then
But
second half I feel like we might pull away.
but that playoffs one was 38-24.
Yeah, that was a rough one.
Yeah. That's the one that's more like what I was talking about, I think, where he got out and ran a lot more than I would have liked to see him. Mahomes, that is. And
Well, the big playoff loss last year, geez. Mahomes had 7 carries for 69 yards in last year's playoff game.
yeah.
That's when you're right. We've lost to them multiple times when he rushes.
When he rushes,
because he's
yes.
honestly not like most people. Yes, he's mobile,
But he's not a
he's
rushing
mobile
quarterback.
in the pot. He's not a rushing quarterback. He is not. Like he will get games like that, but majority of times he does not rush.
Yeah.
It's him just in the pocket.
He does it out of
rushing around.
necessity to try to like miss tackles and get rid of the
Breaking
ball.
tackles.
And he'll try to throw it all the way up to the last minute till he has to take off, So
Right.
I think that's an issue. So I'd like to see us contain that better. So I think that's something to watch for. I think with Von Miller and other people, I think just having our linebackers are crazy. I think like if he goes outside, if he goes inside, they've done a good job of grabbing people trying to go around the outside for running, running back. So
Yeah.
Derrick Henry, Najee Harris, they shut them both down pretty good.
Chiefs have a weird loss to the Colts too. That's such a weird loss with like how bad the Colts look this year. Like how did they randomly lose 20-17 to the Colts? It's so weird.
Yeah. That was very weird. And that was like the Colts only win until they just barely beat Denver.
The only thing is I guess like the Chiefs have like recorded the loudest stadium ever. I didn't know that they have the loudest recorded ever, like Guinness World Record.
Really?
The loudest stadium.
I thought it used to be the Seahawks
in the
right?
world too.
Yeah.
No,
Wow.
they like Kansas City did it. I was looking it up the other day. It's pretty wild, and so it's obviously it's at Chiefs. That's hard. Like no matter what, like if you play a top team away, it's going to be a challenge. I feel like so. I don't know. This game's definitely. I feel like it's going to be a close one, at least for the first half, and then second half we'll really see how it goes. I think it's still going to be. I don't know. Well, I think it's going to be like a 31-24 Bills final. Bills win.
Yeah. I think it's going to be pretty close to that. I'd go with that too. Yeah.
Because honestly, if it could even be like a 31-17 kind of thing.
I think it's still going to be 30.
Kind of
it's still going to be like 31, 20, 24. I think they'll get in the 20s.
Yeah, and if not, it's going to be like really close to the 20s. Just because like I just feel like we're gonna have to give up some to this offense. They're so fast. They're like Mahomes always is making plays. But I don't know. I just don't think they're putting. I don't think the Chiefs are going to act like they're putting as much into this game as they are.
Yeah, I think we had. I think we've made like more drastic improvements on offense and defense since last year than they have, and
if anything, they got worse.
Yeah, they've got worse. So I mean, like we have all these improvements. So I don't see how we could do worse than last year. We're only going to do better. And since it was close, within reason, it was pretty close both games. I think we're going to take it for sure. And I think that they'll fall short. They're going to fall short. They won't be able to keep up with the pace or whatever, probably. So
I don't think their defense is nearly as good. So I don't think they'll be able to hold us as much. So I feel like even if they hold us for a little bit, I think it's going to eventually be – we're just going to eventually just pull away in the end. So
yeah.
31-24, I think, another win. Setting us into the bye week – at a solid 5-1.
5-1.
I think that's a solid start to the season to come out of the bye week. And I think we go right into who is it?
Green Bay Packers at home.
Packers, right? I was gonna say Packers. At home too, which is nice.
The inconsistent Packers at home. So it's almost like we get a week and a half break.
Then right into at New York too, or at Jets too. So the New Jersey Jets. So that's nice.
Yeah, the on fire Jersey Jets lately. So we'll see how they look against the Bills D though.
Beat those shitty Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
As we all said.
Were we right? Were we right?
Were we right?
Yeah.
Yes, we were.
Yes, we were, Matt. We were.
Yes. Every Dolphin fan out there, we were right.
Yeah.
Oh, Tua is injured? I don't care. He's injured all the time.
Yeah.
The Dolphins suck. I don't care. We're going on a rant right now because this must be said. The Dolphins suck.
And I was reminded yesterday by an old fan of Buffalo, older than I am even, that talked about the early 90s, and I forget how fierce the rival was with Miami. Like we both were more everyone remembers the Patriots rival more, but that early 90s, like Dan Marino, Jim Kelly, that rivalry was crazy. So I think that there's still a lot of anger between the two teams that can also be reunited. So
it's a good rivalry to have. I mean, any like in division rivalry is fun. So especially when there's multiple teams that could be the good or on the edge. So I mean, I'm all for a good team. So we have good competition and a lot of battles. It's fun to have good close games. So we'll see how it all goes. But well, we do want to give some shout outs to people for our podcast because we just are so thankful for everything and everybody that have been like helping us and following us and everything. So obviously Johnny, super awesome. Johnny Haynes, with helping us with our all of our logos, and stuff like that. So
our mishap last week, last minute, we were able to take some designs he did for our faces, and that came in really great because I don't know honestly what we would have done on the short notice like that to make something happen, so it still made it entertaining.
And he asked for nothing in return, which also, and he always does this stuff for us. So
great guy.
I appreciate it. Definitely awesome dude.
Thanks, Johnny.
Appreciative of people like that have those kind of people in our lives. Definitely go to our YouTube, subscribe, follow our Instagram. You know the deal. Keep following us. We love you all. Appreciate you all. Let's go Buffalo!
Let's go Buffalo! All right. See you next week.